all right. Here's where we welcome you. Welcome, people. Welcome to another edition of Connecting the Dots on DBS Radio. It is surely a pleasure to be with you this morning. I've won John Baptist Lugie and Nigel Francis. We have a guest as well. We welcome you to another edition of Connecting the Dots on DBS Radio. Beautiful Saturday it is. The 23rd day in the month. Josette Seraphin Hedrington, happy Earth Day. That's where we connect. That's where we strengthen the ties that bind us as Dominicans. Let me join Nigel Francis. Hey Nigel, bonjour, good morning, how you doing? Nigel, I'm sitting today, so I kind of feel uncomfortable.
You're sitting today, you're comfortable, you're sitting.
Yeah, because Nigel, let me tell you something, the legs, I did some exercises there. You know when you haven't done this.
You try a thing and now this is trying you.
Nigel, yeah, so I cannot stand for too long. So I say, boy, best I sit there.
That's okay. You've earned the right to sit after exercising. That's okay.
Yes.
Exercise is important, so that's good.
Mm-hmm. But I'm not feeling comfortable sitting, so you might just see me stand again.
I know.
Yeah.
Yes, the room vam is the way.
Sometimes I have a laddie wide, and
yes,
sometimes I have a kind of a VAV home, so I have to stand, you know.
You have to stand and feel the vibes.
Yes.
You know?
So how you doing, Nigel?
Yes. I'm good. You know, it's raining out here, but I'm good. A little rain, a little thunder here and there, you know, so weather kind of dark, but, you know, I'm good.
Okay.
It's the kind of weather where you feel like you have to stay indoors.
I like that, you know, I love that weather.
Yes,
stay inside, man. Let the rain
but
fall and do
sometimes
its thing.
you still have other things you have to do, but, you know, it's the kind of weather you just want to chill.
Yeah, man. All right.
Chilling weather.
Yeah, so wonderful. An interesting week again. Boy, I have had interesting weeks in the
But
past weeks.
you've had interesting weeks.
Man, let me tell you something, Nigel. Yeah, but it is what it is. And but I give thanks. You know, gratitude is a must. So
it is.
The good and the bad I take. So that's nice.
Yeah. Yes, that's the balance of life. You know what I mean? You take the good and the bad and you make it happen. You know, so that's a beautiful thing about the universe, you know, the balance that we have to have. So
definitely,
you know, it's good to have that. You know?
Definitely. So let me say good morning to Vado. Nigel, in fact, before Vado sends City the police on us, let us remember to shout out Vado. And so many other people as well, but there's something about Vado, you know.
But we have to make sure we say good morning to Vado.
Because she would have a transistor or she would listen on her phone, because normally on a Saturday around that time she's getting ready, or she is already, you know, plying her trade. And so she captures the visual after. So let me say hello to Vado. Eva Francis as well. Come a while, Eva Francis. It's nice to have you on. Sonia Williams, you know, and everybody else, Nigel. The people who meet me every day and tell me how they like the camaraderie between you and I. So I just tell them he's the smart one. And they burst in laughter. I don't know why, but
and then we mix our smartness together, and then we have a smart program. That's beautiful.
Well, that's what you see.
But all the CTD family, as always, it's nice to have you on board. It's good to have you here. You know, once we start to call, then we're going to finish for the day.
Too numerous to mention.
All of you, good morning to you.
Boy.
You know, Alvin is on early. Good morning. You know, Pecker. Good morning to you. I say, hey, is that Jokam? Hey, Jokam, good morning to you. Jokam is locked in from London. Good morning to you. Jules.
Okay.
You know, I'm Randy Turney. Good morning. Joan Coffee Benjamin. Edwina London. And, you know, we can go on and on. Liz, good morning to you, my dear sis. Stanley, good morning to you out there. You know, so many. Good morning, right?
To all of you, too numerous to mention. Very early this morning, Kofi sent me a message that he will not be on the live, but he'll be listening, he'll be capturing it. You know, his daughters are doing big things, and he's on the way to
yes. I think I see the other daughter is involved in some of the some of the activities.
Yes, doing a lot. So
yes. Big up to Kofi, man, for that. It's good to have the young ones engaged in creative activities.
Yeah, and engaged they are definitely engaged, and that's good. So good guidance as well from
definitely so. It's lovely to have that, you know. What's the weather like today?
Well,
Is it
it's
the same kind of
yeah,
chilling, rainy
yeah.
weather I have over here?
No, I mean we always have a little threat sometimes for the past days, a little threat of rain, but nothing much really, nothing much. I
Right.
think we really need some, good rain, good waters, not the kind that will cause havoc or anything like that. But yeah, we need some waters, man. We need some waters.
Yes,
But
just
Nigel,
yes, yes,
tomorrow,
yes.
tomorrow begins the start of Holy Week, and for many Catholic Christians, this is sacrosanct. So yeah, it's a time when Catholics gather to remember and participate in the Passion of Jesus Christ.
It
And for many,
is.
this period is too valuable to interfere with, for want of a better term, if I could say that.
Yeah,
So,
and it is, it is, and of course, as we get ready to celebrate that, and of
hmm
course, get ready for for Holy Thursday and for
hmm
for Good Friday, and all those who've been having the retreats and
yes, yes,
preparing,
yes.
preparing for that particular week,
hmm
so to all our Catholic family, we say good morning and we say, happy Holy Week to you, blessed Holy
Yes,
Week,
yes,
as
to
we
the Catholic
prepare the
family, yes.
journey
Yeah,
that
tomorrow
our
is Palm
Savior went
Sunday,
through.
Palm Sunday tomorrow, and a lot
Yes.
of people will sort of reenact, what happened
Oh yes.
way
Oh yes.
back
Oh yes.
when.
When you walk through the,
Yes.
I remember back then we used to have the procession, right?
This is still on.
And
This is still
is
on.
that this is still on?
Yes, on Palm Sunday, so you have the procession with the palms and and all of that. It's a wonderful thing, really. And then of course you have the mass, the Palm Sunday mass,
Yes.
and
Yes. Yes. Yes.
yeah.
And I know here when we go to church here, of course, they give you as a replica, they give you the little palms so you
Yes, or
can,
you go for your palm. I
or
remember we
you
used
go
to go
for
in the
your palms.
gardens
Yeah.
for palm, and although I don't live close to the gardens again as when I grew up, I still make the journey to the gardens to get a palm. We boy, the Gazian me the way. What's boy? I won't. Nah, you see that thing I sitting down there anyway. But really, Nigel, tradition and upbringing will be forever etched in my memory. So much I remember about that season. We were told no music and no meats during the season of Lent.
Oh
So
yes.
the
Yes.
yard
Yes.
was
Yes.
somewhat
Yes.
quiet back in the day. No music and all of that. But so much
No
has
music,
changed. So much
no
has
meat.
changed.
It has changed. It has
Yeah,
changed.
man.
It has changed. I think we've evolved and we've grown to better understand what the season
Yes.
is, and
Oh
not so much
yes.
in the physical, but
Mhm.
more in the spiritual and the mental, and what we need to do for reflection and
Mhm.
repentance and so on. So we've evolved.
Yes.
Which is good.
Yes.
Which is
Yes.
good. I'm pretty sure that everybody's probably getting they still have a midnight mass, right? Easter midnight mass is that still on?
Yes, the Easter Vigil that is
The
still on.
vigil,
The
yes.
Good Friday as well. This is still on. We carry that live on radio as well.
We
So
still, we still, do
we
we
still
still go
yes
to
we
the
still
cross? Well, still go to the
and
cross,
that
three
that too is
o'clock.
still on. So I think there's
That is
the
still on. Okay,
yes the
okay.
procession to the cross at about 4:30 in the morning. So yes, that
Yes,
that is still on. So a lot, as I said, a lot has changed, but a lot remains the same.
beautiful,
So we
beautiful,
spoke in the
beautiful.
past. I remember Nigel on previous programs about the Good Friday egg. So we spoke about all of that.
Yes, yes,
The wash of the
yes.
feet, the Last Supper, the Christmas, the Easter Vigil. These things are on still. And
Wonderful,
then on Monday
wonderful.
it's back to the Holy Nigel. Well, the
Yes,
Monday
yes, yeah.
after the
Well,
Holy
between
Week.
Monday,
Oh my
Saturday, Sunday,
goodness.
from Sunday afternoon
Yes,
after that, we
boy.
have Easter Sunday, which used to
Yeah.
be like picnics and stuff, or maybe
Yes.
Easter
Yeah, I
Monday.
remember we used to go to
You
Bell
know,
Hall and Purple
yes, Easter
Turtle
Monday was
and
the
those
picnic
places.
time, man.
Yes, 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 yes.
Yes,
So
yes,
those were the
yes.
days, my friend. I know we have a guest, Nigel, but I think it's time for our Dominica corner. Last week I think we spoke about mangoes, right? We named mangoes. What are we gonna do
Yes,
this week?
very much.
Let's name some past football teams.
Past football teams. All right.
I'll start first, and let's name 10. I suspect I'll start first, and then you have the other 10. Yeah, all right. So how do I begin? Well, Harlem, of course. So I can name Harlem.
What I do is there you going.
I'll name Harlem, but by me
But
first,
since you name
Nigel.
Harlem, I'll name
Me.
Since you name Harlem, I'll name Kensby.
No, Nigel, but I name in 10, and then you come with 10.
Play, Papa. Okay, go if you
So let me see: Harlem, Kensbro, Celtics, Spartans, Spurs. We're talking about the ones of long ago, and well, some of them are still here,
I in
obviously.
trouble there, eh?
So you have Blue Stars, you have Green City, you have Grammar Academites, right? Where
I in trouble.
Bafe State, yeah, Bafe State. I think I
I
named 10.
can't name.
If I'm missing one, is alright. Nigel, go ahead. Let
I
me
can't
see.
name nothing after that.
Where? Nigel.
Hey, Papa, it's true. Well, let's see. Okay, you had Saints. Let me see who again. You had Saints. You had
I had Saints, yes.
what's
Good
your name?
option.
All those already. You
I
had
had Saints.
what's that other team
I
from
had
Harlem that
Spartans.
came out?
Okay, say
Well,
Spartans. I know she
you
had
say
Spartans.
Spartans already.
Yeah.
What's that other team that came out after Harlem
I'm
breakup? You
thinking
had
JD Rocks, was it?
JD Rocks.
Okay,
Yes, you had JD Rocks. You had
wait boy.
let me think, man. Then you had Blue Stars,
Was that if I said Blue
from the Kensborough
Stars?
region
But
area
that's if
there
I said
now.
that, way.
You say that already,
But
Ebony. Then
yeah.
you had let's go. We want to name the originals. You had what's that other team again now? Let me see. You say Bath Estate already, well, trouble for me now.
I think St. Joe had a
I,
team back in the day,
but
long
you
ago.
also had Kens, you had Kens, bro, but you also had Kens.
What?
Kens United.
You
Yes,
serious?
there was a
Okay.
Kens, man. Kens United.
All right.
Yes, a breakup of Kens, bro. It's a breakup of Kens, bro, and you had Kens
Okay.
United. It didn't
All
last
right.
very long, but you had Kens.
Yeah. All right.
All you help me on the life then, please.
I know. I know.
Please help me. I need
Give
some other
Nigel a help.
football
Give
teams.
Nigel a help.
Yes, I need some other football teams. I want to
Um,
take all those she know early, and then she want to give me the rest. Help me out.
I think there's Citron City back in the day as well.
Citron City
Point
back in the day.
Michelle would have had a team long,
Oh,
long
Point
ago as
Michelle,
well.
yes.
Yeah, you
Point
Nigel.
Michelle. Yes,
But there are a lot,
yes.
they just can't come to mind right now.
They
But there
just
were a
can't come
lot.
to mind right now, but there was a lot. There was um, help me with some football teams from Dominica, please,
Does it?
somebody.
No, I'm not going there. I was going somewhere, but now it doesn't. Let me call Joe Faustin and Allington James to send me a WhatsApp there.
Yes.
Call me. Send me
Oh,
a
Zebian. Somebody just said
Zebians. Oh
Zebian.
yes,
Yes.
Zebians.
Cheryl
I
Laffotte,
remember
thank you.
Zebians. Very good.
Yes,
Very good.
Zebians.
Yeah.
What about Porters?
Porters,
Yes.
yes, from
Yes, Deborah
Pottersville.
Hilton, boy. See how
But you guys
my
in help
people on
there, boy,
Facebook they
Nigel?
help me
Only
out well,
Facebook, yeah.
Albert Greener will tell me there was Halcyons. There was St. Joseph too.
Yes.
Thank you. Help me.
The
You know what
Kingsville had a team. Kingsville was
Kingsville
it
had a
Kingsville
football team.
United? I
Yeah.
don't know. Anyway, but
Kingsville had a football team. Kingsville have a football team. I don't remember.
but what about in the country area outside of town? I think
In outside of town, apart from St. Joe, I mean Portsmouth had a team. What was the team called from Portsmouth? They used to come down to town to.
okay. Anyway, but we named a lot.
But we named a
We
lot.
named a lot. Okay, we have to.
We named a lot.
Yes, we have to move on. By the way, as
Thank
we move
you.
on, let me just say hello to Michael Marshall Drago. We'll have him on a guest, to come. But Nigel, let me tell you something. We have a long list there of people to fit in on the Saturday.
We do.
And it stretches as far as December, Like Nigel, no exaggeration. I mean, that is just true.
We do have a long list.
And that's good. So let me say hello to as well.
And
to
I know we
for
forget
John.
football, but I should not forget K-Sack from Kinfield. Thank you,
K-Sack
Kofi
from
James.
Kinfield.
K-Sack from Kinfield. Yes.
Right. Okay. So we good to go. So
We're
that's
good
the
now.
Dominica
We're good.
corner. So we're going to our guest, but let's just say Nigel as well. Long live the people's struggle for a Haitian solution for Haiti. Does that make sense? A Haitian solution for Haiti.
A Haitian solution for Haiti, and we hope it happens.
Yeah.
We pray it happens, and we hope for the sake of Black people, for the sake of the Caribbean, for the sake of history, for the sake of mankind, and for what Haiti means to the rest of the world. We really hope it happens.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yes, because we need to we need to find a way. We need to find a way. So we hope it happens.
Yeah. All right. So Nigel, it's time for us to pray and bring on our guest. You have the prayer close, or you want?
Well, yes, I think I should have the prayer. Let's see. Yes.
Okay. I say if you don't have it close, I would just say something.
Yeah, well, you know what?
Or we can just say the Serenity prayer. So let's go, Nigel, with the Serenity prayer, and just the first. How are you going again?
Hey, Papa.
God grants. Okay, let's go, Nigel. God grants us the serenity to accept the things that we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can. And the wisdom to know the difference. Amen. That's it.
Another blessing upon this program. Here we go.
Nice. Okay, so it's time to bring on our guest, Nigel. I'm going to give you the honors. I think she sent me a message this morning, but I did not see it. I mean, the hustle is real, so I did not see it, but we'll see how it goes. So she's on, right, Nigel?
Yes, yes, she is on.
Yes,
I
Rosalind
know
Severin
she's
is
on.
our
Yes,
guest, and
so
so
Rosalind
yes.
Severin
Hey,
McClean.
hey, wow, Papa
Morning,
Met,
she
look
is
at
on,
that.
and not
She
only
looks
on, you know,
queenly,
she
regal,
look
man.
yes,
I love
splendidly
this.
dressed.
Wow, I
Yes,
love
yes,
this. I really,
beautiful,
really love
beautiful,
this.
beautiful.
She looks like
I
20
love to
years
see
younger.
this.
Wait, what? That's nice. I mean, no flattery here, my dear, but yeah, you look good. You look good. So, Nigel, I met Rosalind in the flesh last year. We have pictures to show that we bonded well, Nigel, when she was here last year. But before that, radio brought us together. We had her on once on Connecting the Dots, I remember, and that was the day we could not get Dr. John Lowe Black on. And we had to just improvise and let something work for us on that day. And we called Rosalind, and she was not on camera. So I said that, we would give her time, one day with us on Connecting the Dots. So it's a pleasure to connect with her, Nigel.
So we
Hey.
want to say good morning to you. And, before we get into our discussion, Smokey and Fitz, good morning to you. I'm not sure if you guys are back here or if you're still in
Yeah, I
Dominica,
haven't
but
seen Smokey. I'm not
yep,
sure if he's around.
you
I
haven't
don't
seen
know.
Smokey.
No, no,
Smokey, take
Papa.
Fitz to see Ivona too, eh? She's
I
still in
don't know if he's
Dominica.
around, but
Yes, yes. And if you're still in Dominica, Smokey, you have an assignment.
I
You and
come
Fitz
on,
have to go
Smokey.
see.
And I suspect
You
Smokey
and
not
Fitz
around
have to
there.
go and see Ivona, okay?
But yeah,
All right. So,
else I ban in audio.
yes, otherwise you ban on
Yeah,
you. See the trouble there now, Smokey. You see the trouble
just
now.
like
Yeah.
that.
So you and Fitz go, please go see Ivona.
Yeah.
All right. So, Rosalind, good morning to you again, my dear. It's a pleasure to have you and connecting the dots. We are happy we can connect this time, see you and chat with you as well. Go through your story, your journey, and of course, all what's going on. So, welcome.
Good morning, Nigel and Ivona. Thank you so much for inviting me to your show this morning. I'm really pleased to be here to share with you my journey, with you and your listening audience. And yes, it's my pleasure to be here.
But I love those earrings. There you get those Dominica earrings.
I
Yeah.
flash. Yeah, in New York, I get everything in New York. So,
Yes.
yeah. I said,
You're
you know
always
what?
one of those that always wants to represent Dominica no matter.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, we have to represent the country, the island, and the beauty, and we have to represent the people. Everything that we do, for culture,
Beautiful.
dance,
I
we do
love
it.
that. I love that. And of course, we'll find out about you and, the fact that you part of the original sets of people, if you want, who brought culture up to New York and to the rest of of North
Yes,
America and everything else, and your involvement in dance and culture and, all that good stuff. Um,
yes.
so I guess we start from the beginning as we always like to do, right? I want to take it from the beginning and
Yes,
see how much
that's
we can
yeah.
cap in that
That's
space
the
of
part
time.
where we get the scoop, and everything.
Yes, yes, yes. That's the paparazzi section.
Yeah.
Oh my
So,
goodness. Yes.
so Rosalind, what part of Dominica are you from?
Well, I'll tell you something. I was born in Newtown, back in 1955. That's where I guess
Newtown
my
people.
parents lived. Yeah, Newtown people. I was born in Newtown. I think it is where the gas station is right now. If it's still there, there was a house, and that's where I'm actually born. And then we moved to town. You know, I think we were in my grandmother's house on Hillsborough Street, but I remember definitely living on 5 Goodwill Road. That's across the bridge, across the old bridge in the days. There's a large flat house, wooden house, not my grandparents' home, my mother's family. And this is where from that house I went to school,
Mm,
to kindergarten. And yes, that's where I started. So I remember that house very clearly, living there, with my parents. And of course, we had helpers in the day. It was very large. Well, as a child, you see. And then from there, we moved to Goodwill in 1960, to my father's house in Goodwill. So yes, I guess you would like to know more about going to the convent, the small school from the house in 5 Goodwill Road.
yes,
That
yes, yes.
gets
So,
started.
so, so, so the first school you would have gone would have been in terms of, so what about preschool? Did you do preschool or you just went to convent
The,
prep or
the preschool, I guess, was the
okay.
old academy. The old academy, I think that's where the St. Martin Primary School or something is there, across the bishop's house on Virgin Lane.
Mm-hmm,
Okay, so
mm-hmm.
I went to the old academy in kindergarten.
That's the name, the
Back
old
then, it was
academy.
a Dora class. Pardon me?
The old academy, that's the name? That was the name?
That was the name. That's called the
Okay.
Old Academy.
Okay.
Just
Mm.
across the Bishop House on Virgin Lane. That was where the convent had the Miss Garrard class. Miss Garrard class was, I guess, in Montessori, we called it back then. So that's where I went with a lot of other children, and of course my age group. So I did Miss Garrard class there. I went there at 2.5. I was not yet 3 because at that time school started in January, and I would have turned 3 in May. So I was in the Old Academy, Miss Garrard's class at that time. And then from there, I had Miss Bully's class. Miss Bully was Olin Bully's mother. She taught me in the next class. And it wasn't first division yet. It was the next class, I guess, there were 2 classes in the Old Academy. It was Miss Garrard first and then Miss Bully. Yes, and of course we had the convent high school uniform with the beret, looking cute, the little socks and shoes, the little skirt, and a little bag. I remember going to school with my pillow because I was attached to my pillow as a child baby, and going to school with the pillow and not a doll. I know it's a pillow because I used to roll my pillow a lot, for years. That was my comfort.
Wow.
And so I went to school with that pillow.
Do you recall any of the little songs you sang then? Like they used to put you to sleep, or they would have like to teach you whether it's the alphabet or whatever it is. Remember any of those little songs?
Well, Mary Had a Little Lamb, and there's the regular nursery rhymes we learned in school.
Mary Had a Little Lamb.
I don't remember putting to sleep. I don't remember sleeping in the class. I remember we spent a lot of time outside because there's a yard with a big tree in the yard and a bench. Because that was it was a huge yard. It wasn't very smooth. It had a lot of hills, like the low grass, and a lot of the time we spent.
Wait. I just say Mary Had a Little Lamb. I try to remember how that rhyme used to rhyme. I don't know how that is.
Mary had a little lamb. Its fleece was white as snow.
Little lamb. Mary had a little lamb. Its fleece as white as snow.
Oh, that one. Okay.
And Mary had that lamb for many, many, many years, eh?
Yes, everywhere that Mary went, the little lamb was shot.
Yes, it followed her to school one day, and which was against the rule, and then we went.
So these are the nursery rhymes we did in kindergarten. I guess all through the school, the grade school. I mean the school where we were 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years. And then one of the things I remember very clearly, we had a band, a little group, a little band. We had they call it the little band. We had the shack and the little the little drum, the little sticks, the little thing. We were little babies, 3, 4-year-olds. And the school would come at speech day, prize giving they call it, or we call it speech day at the time. And the little children, we would perform. Miss Garrett class, we would perform. Miss Bully class, we would put together and have the little na 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 na, as we did as at the time. So that I remember very clearly as a 3-year-old in the Old Academy. I have to always stress on the Old Academy because no one seemed to remember, or I guess know or remember, I must say remember that the convent was in the Old Academy at the time, And I believe that the new academy, which is the academy that we know, the students were in this old academy and they had moved to the new academy. So the convent was able to get space. I don't know how it went, but it seems like something like that happened along the line back in 1958, 1955, 58, right.
Of course, the new academy is SMA.
SMA, yeah.
Yes,
so they can call about SMA.
SMA.
Because I'm talking about 1958 now.
Yes, that's been a while too. So convent prep. So of course, then you own convent prep.
Yes.
Was it called convent prep then?
No, it was called It was called small school.
Okay.
Convent prep did not come in there at all until I guess the American nuns came, and by that time we'd gone to first form. So how many years down the line? It was called small school. I wrote about that in Oceans of Thoughts, book 1. And I remember trying to get pictures of the small school. There was an old wooden building, and that old wooden building stretched across the other side of where the school is built now. It was on the other side, because I remember when the school was being built, the new school was being built. I think they call it St. Joseph's Convent or whatever the name is now. But the school, we were in first division to sixth division in the small school. It was a wooden building with two long verandas. We had the long veranda with the like netted veranda, like it felt, I guess, mostly for air, but there's a wooden veranda, and you had the netted design, on the front veranda. The back veranda was also a wooden veranda, but the veranda stretched just across the whole building of that school. So the children played. We played in the schoolyard on a different verandas. We played. I
I'm
have
just
pictures.
imagining this, Ivor. I'm trying to imagine this of how the school looked and the verandas and so. I mean, are there any photos of do you think there's anyone who have photos of those?
I remember some time ago I had seen a picture of the small school on Facebook, and when I was trying to get the book together, I couldn't find it. But my good friend Ursula Lawrence, she told me to check her Facebook pictures, and I found a picture with some children at the time. I think the children were like Golden Bully and Juhus and I think it was Tony Lawrence. Some are young. They were young children at the time, of course, much older than I am. So I was able to capture the scene of the long veranda of the small school. I really wanted the verandas. After I posted the put it in the book, everyone said, "Do you know who they are?" I said, "No, they're convent children." And I was told it was Pauline and all this. I said, "Well, I didn't know who it was then."
Oh,
I had Johnny
interesting.
Karam as well in that picture.
Oh, okay. Well,
And
he's
they were
on.
little boys. Yeah, it's in Oceans of Thoughts book
Okay,
one.
all right.
And I also captured a picture of Montessori. That's the back veranda. And in that picture, I have Raymond Lawrence and maybe a couple other people. But I know Raymond is there for sure. In that particular picture, so there are two pictures of the small school. The small school looked like an old plantation building. Back in the day, if you figure out in the slavery days, you had this long, long house. So it looked like a long house with two verandas on the side. That's where the nuns stood. We had the Belgium nuns.
Wow,
I had
interesting.
Sister Aloysius at the time.
Nigel, do you
Yeah.
have pictures of yourself, like at preschool? Do you have preschool pictures?
I have I don't have preschool pictures, but I have like pictures when I was in Rosa Boys School, and then
Okay,
pictures when I just entered SMA, and so I have those.
okay.
I have a few of those, with
Oh,
my
well,
big
that's good.
afro. Yes.
Well, I have one preschool picture. I have one preschool picture. I hardly look at it sometimes because when I see the hairstyle. Anyway, it's Rosalind's story
Who
time.
said I can't be you?
Me.
So Rosalind, okay, yeah. So convent prep.
Convent small school.
So let me ask you this though, because there's always been this kind of notion, this feeling that convent prep was for Roseau people and what we call at that time,
Bourgeoisie.
the bourgeoisie people and so on and so forth.
Late.
And your time in convent prep, looking back now, because of course we are different and we can look back at stuff and see what happened then in our society. Do you feel that this was the case?
I to be honest with you, I did not feel that because we were children back then. So there was
Right.
no way we are going to feel that someone is bourgeois or whatever it is that the society is labeling. We were all children. We had children. We're all children. We don't know who came from where. We
Mm.
just know if we go to a party, we're going to see Roddy, I'll see Jilly, I will see whoever's in Marina, whoever's in the party. But as a matter of fact, we didn't know as children who came from where. So there was no separation and labeling at that time
Mhm.
among us children. Now, maybe the parents, maybe the nuns had this notion, but we as children didn't feel, I know I didn't feel this at all in school. So I cannot vouch for that part of it, you
And,
know.
and and the reason I'm going there is because Ivone and I always mention that it takes a village and the community that's behind you. And sometimes one gets the feeling that when you're from Roseau, people may feel that there wasn't a community raising the child as compared to the rural communities. You know what I'm saying? So for you, did you see that same thing, that the community was behind in raising the child, and that anybody in the community and adults had to be respected and that sort of thing?
Most definitely, in my time growing up in Dominica, most definitely, it was like, the community, as you said, raised the child. It was a time when whatever you did, your parents would know before you get home. There's a time when the neighbor, anyone on the street, an adult, could correct you, and you had to respect that. It was a time when you were not loud, you conducted yourself decently, you dressed differently. Because it was a time of utmost respect from my point of view. As what I felt as a child, a small child. We're talking about the
Mm-hmm.
small child growing up,
Yes, yes, yes.
you know. And I don't know when things change. I guess when I left Dominica, the whole change. But when I was growing up, you were, I wouldn't say you were scared of your parents, but you know how to behave, and therefore, so you won't get a bad rapport from other people, to your parents. I
Mm.
think that's that. So it does a community getting together. You never were never hungry. Someone will always offer you something to eat. You could go the house, the doors were not locked. You knock on the door, whatever you go. Everybody was auntie, everybody was uncle. I mean, the older ones, uncle. I had friends as I started growing up from all walks of life. It didn't matter to me where the person was from, where the child was from, Pont Michel, whatever country, whatever yard. I go in there, sit down with them, eat with them. So I did not, as a young child growing up, I felt that we were all together. If they had this separation, that's with the older children, the
Mm.
older kids. But as a child, I didn't have that. You know, you can say we had
Mm.
color consciousness, light
Mm.
skin, dark skin, and that prejudices. That
Mm.
you could say. But although that was very, very glaring in the time, we were still had
Together.
the community spirit where
Mm.
the older folks were respected and they could correct you, and you had to take that correction. And it's always for your benefit, you know. But
What, what
that other part of it definitely was a
yeah.
factor in Dominica.
What was Rosalind like though growing up? Were you like involved in sports, or would you prefer probably like being a little princess, like dressing up and things like that? What was Rosalind like growing up in those days?
Growing up, I was very much involved in sports, art and culture, dance. Although I never did not join any dance group, anything in Dominica. But I will tell you something, and I said I always have to. Next time I do an interview, I'm going to mention it. My dancing career started with Jean Lawrence. Jean Lawrence Matthew, that's Raymond's older sister, and Raymond Lawrence's older sister. She was the one who singled me out. Or I said, or picked me. I think that's more word. Picked me with other children to perform in any of her productions as a school child. We're talking about small school children.
Mm.
I was never and even in convent high school, she looked at my skill, my dancing ability, my presence. I guess it was that stage presence or whatever. And Jean Lawrence always, whenever she did a production, she would always have me perform as a dancer in her productions. And it was several with other children. So that gave me confidence and more, reason to want to further it. And I always say that she started me actually dancing on stage. She's never mentioned, I know Dominica never mentions her to me. I never hear her name being called on the radio or anything. But Jean Lawrence was a big factor in dance and culture in Dominica. If there's any interview to be had or any bio to be read, they should always remember Jean Lawrence. She's Margarine, but when I knew her as a child, it was Jean Lawrence. And this is something that I thought I would definitely mention in any
Mm-hmm.
interview
Mm-hmm.
with Dominica. You
Oh
know,
yes, oh yes, oh yes, yes. We've recognized Jean and her contribution, especially to the folk culture.
well, I'm talking about before folk and culture. I'm talking
Right,
about when I was quite a child.
little.
Yeah, little. She was the one, the pianist at convent. She the
Mm.
one singing the choir. She was the one directing the choir. The school little, speech day. So you have each class singing a song for speech day. And I remember
Mm.
doing Philomena. I remember doing a Mexican dance and the different performances. I remember doing as you had the big hat and the little skirt and boys and girls dancing the little dance. And
Nice.
Philomena, come to the dance, come to a bright starry night. She directed this. and I was dancing and stuff. So these are little features that really started me in the dance career. You know,
This
and
will,
I
this sounds like this were really lovely moments. And Rosalind,
yes,
were you like a jeb child, troublesome, or you were
of
like
course,
quiet?
of course.
You
If
can
I
see that
wasn't
in
Jebby
Nigeria. You
troublesome, I
can
wouldn't
see
have
it.
been me. That's why
Jeb Jeb,
probably they couldn't stand me because I
how,
was always
how I
about
end up with Jeb now, by
Good
the
word,
way?
Nigel.
Go ahead,
Good
sorry.
word.
troublesome.
Jeb, Jeb.
Yeah, of course. I was troublesome. I was not a rude child though. I don't remember being a rude person, but I was always, climbing go up trees, running here, running there, going on hikes, running around, not studying. My mother used to tell me, "Oh, go study like your sister." And I put the book down, I climbed the tree, go up in Santa Roma, that's where it was, and Rome, Santa Roma. So I'm involved was involved in everything. Every sport you could think of, I was involved in.
Mm.
I played cricket. I tried a little soccer until they stopped me and told me soccer is not for girls. I couldn't do soccer. I did basketball. I did netball. Oh, netball was my thing. I was on the netball team. I was on Hillsborough special netball team. I mean, I ran sports. I ran sports for Daubeny House in grammar
Say
school.
that again. Say that again.
Oh,
Yes,
Wheel and come
yes.
again.
I
Say
won
man,
for
why
Dominica
you
House.
have to
I know I've
mention
never
that, Rosalind?
mentioned because I always say I've always been skipped, but it's okay. But I won gold medal for Dominica House for 100 meters race in the national meet they had, I think, 1974. I won second place silver medal for Dominica House for
Eh, eh.
200
But how
meters
you end
race.
up in grammar school?
But of course,
Well,
Nigel.
back then they send you there when they have no place for you in convent and you do all your subjects.
Hey.
So they send you to grammar school. So that was a year I spent there, and then from there I went to Rome. But then that was a year of the sports meet. I think it was the first or the only sports meet like of that caliber in Dominica at the time. I mean, I'm not sure, but I know I took part in those races. I won for the relay race, and that was a big thing in at the time. I got several medals for sports. I mean, yeah, sports was my thing at the
Mm.
days. Yeah.
Wow,
Was Joke,
interesting.
a troublesome fella? Because Joke, good morning to
Joker,
you, Joke. I'm Johnny Karam. Good morning
he
to you. You
wants you
should
to
have
know
was a guest one of those days, He was a
he
troublesome
wants
guy
you
in
to know
school.
he's on.
He
Joker,
was troublesome.
of course, he's older than me, so I wouldn't have known
You wouldn't
Joker
have known
in
if he was
school.
troublesome.
No, I
Okay.
mean I know him, but I wouldn't have known him in school. I know Nadia, and
Yeah, we'll have
his
to have him as a guest one of those days there. So
Mm.
but
so 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 Roslyn, because I know we have so much to
Sure.
capture.
yeah,
So from convent prep with Jean and the rest, and then you went to convent high school for a few, and
Comet
then
High
grammar
School.
school.
Uh-huh.
Um, what? Because you probably went at a time when you had I guess the nuns were those that was running the convent. Then what was it like being, with the
The
nuns running the school at the time,
the Belgium
the
nuns.
sisters?
Belgium nuns. We have to stress on that because later on the American nuns came in, but when I went to school, it was the Belgium nuns. They were very strict. I mean, everybody had their ups and downs, their ways, or whatever. But with them, for me, I did not have any problems with the nuns. I mean, well, Sister Josie tried to step on us when we had the mention back. But besides that, I had Sister Constance. We called her Sister Sooks. She taught me math in French. I had no problems with the nuns. I had more problems with the lay teachers. That is was very. I don't forget. Many of us don't forget certain incidents with those lay teachers. I mean, Dominican teachers that I guess they maybe try to misuse of power. That's what I call those
Mhm.
things. As you get older, you realize what was happening. The misuse of power and the red pen. So they would fail you if they wanted to, and they would pass you if they wanted to, whether you were right or wrong. And I went through that in first and second form where I was doubling convent like nobody's business. Double first form, double second form. And when you check who was doubling me, it was the late teachers that was failing me in the subjects.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey.
Wow.
The nuns, some of the nuns, like the nun I had, never, I mean, I did well in her class. In those days, you get 85, you feel good. You get 80, you feeling good. Yeah, you pass, you get 80 or whatever the subject is. But there was a particular teacher that never passed me a subject. Never passed me a subject. If I get 40, 50, I get a lot. Because my paper was always a red mark. Red mark for the capital G, red mark for the dot on the I, red mark for the T across, red mark for this. You didn't spell that. Oh, yeah. So I went through that part of it. And these things don't leave you because you realize that you are at that time you don't know what's going on. You're just failing, and you say, "Oh, they call you dunce. They call you, oh, you're dunce cat. You cannot pass." And you go through all these good traumas, and take. But in the meantime, you don't realizing it's after you get older and you start putting things together, you realize. That's why I'm in writing, and you realize the unfairness and or whatever it is that had these teachers treating other students and other students like with those sort of behaviors. It was behaviors on their part. While some other children will say, "Comedy was the best thing that happened to you," blah, 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 blah. Other children don't say that because of what experiences they've had in the school. And I certainly have had them. Some people will say, "Oh, that's not true." Yes, it's true because I went through that. I went through especially first and second form. There was one teacher that failed me everything.
Wow.
And she was a class teacher. So when you fail the class teacher subject, you can't go on. You have to pass all her subjects. And I never passed any of her subjects. My mother used to go to me and tell you, "Oh, you're going to send her up because, look, she did this and she got that in math, she got that in French, she got this and thing. And it's only in those subjects. So after a while, they will send me up." And the same thing would happen. I remember when I went to third form, I was so glad that teacher never taught me third form. Third form, I excelled in third form. Second grade, first grade. I never got a ninth grade in third form. That was the way they were grading it in those days. In third form, I excelled in third form. She did not teach me. I used to say, and the thing is, in those days, the child don't have a voice. You say, "Oh, I don't want that teacher." No. But nothing you can do because
Interesting.
that's where they put you.
Interesting. I'm just trying to wonder and think, back, who failed me? Which teacher failed me in actual?
Yeah.
And what's all this? Well, obviously math. I mean, come on. I never loved math.
Don't call my name.
Mr. Nicholas Goldberg, good morning to you, sir. But that's interesting. Very interesting story. I like this.
It is. And I mean, in a sense, I guess the teacher had power then.
Yes.
I mean, they still do.
Misuse of power, you call this. Misuse of power. And they.
But did you think at the time that you merited a pass, or at least,
No, you don't know as a child, you're growing up as a child, you're among your friends, and everybody playing together. My friends were all together playing. I remember one time in second form, when we did a test, and when I got my paper, I had 40%. And I said, it's impossible for me to, because I knew the answers. I knew I was correct, all the answers correct, because I had studied and, and we had compared. So she had a way of saying, don't show your papers around. Put your tests away. But the children took my paper and they went over it. And they saw I had everything right, like their paper, and they went to her. And she told them, I couldn't get the same marks like they got. And she was not changing, she didn't change it. She gave me 40% that day. And I know I had all right.
Wow.
I'll never forget. So when these things happen, and you cannot speak about it because you're in convent high school and it's so-and-so teacher. And if then they tell you, oh, don't say anything. And they make it look like you are the one, the dunce cat. You cannot pass a test. That's why in one interview I said, oh, I didn't pass anything in convent. I was just saying, oh, I couldn't study. But when I think of it, and I've had many interviews and many counseling sessions, many spiritual sessions about those things that happened with my life, to get a clear understanding on a spiritual level, not necessarily they're going to go to the higher level to understand certain behaviors that were happening among people with me. And these are, somebody will say, oh, that didn't happen. Yes, it did. Oh, because you're not studying, you're dunce, you didn't pass your test. No, I didn't pass my test. Why didn't I pass my test? Was I failing everything? Was I failing every class? Was I failing every subject? Whose subjects I was failing? If you check it, whose own? Papa. And it's that particular teacher.
Okay. But let's look at the bright side as well, though, because I'm sure that you had a lot of good times at school, right? And that's
oh, yes.
Apart from that teacher failing you all the time.
Yeah, convent high school, oh, yes. I had, my friends, and I was in plays. Of course, Jean Lawrence again. She have all these massive plays in on the school, and I took part dancing with them. I played netball for the team. I was always on the recess time. I was like a champion in sports, And when I think of it, it's because I was championing something that no one had to correct, you know.
Mm.
And yeah, so I elevated in sports, dance, and culture, and it was in through the school, you know. I want to mention something, and it did shape me as well. I remember in convent high school at the time, there were a lot of plays with Shakespeare. And in those plays, we had the actors and actresses. Of course, they were all high school students, I guess. We had Alwyn Bully, you had Anita Bully, you had Donald Peters, you had Mr. Lance, you had Tony Lawrence. These were the guys of the time. And they were the ones acting in all the Shakespeare plays. And it
Mm.
was like, if certain people, like all for me, a lot of my friends, we were always together, and they used to rehearse in the convent high school hall. So what we would do, we would peep to see, to look behind the curtain to see what they had, what they were doing, and to look at the practices. Because as real children, because they were the ones doing the plays. I think
Mm.
later on in life, I was told it was Amma Harris that was
Yeah.
directing those plays. And it was, if Orlin and Anita were not in the play wasn't good. And they would say, "Oh, that's not fair," because they were the main characters in all the plays.
Mm.
Midsummer Night's Dream, The Tempest, Merchant of Venice, Macbeth, Romeo and Juliet, all these different plays and then we were doing Shakespeare at the time. And one time we were looking and we were cheating, trying to see what they were doing back at everybody rehearsing. And guess what? We saw them kiss.
Hey, Papa.
We saw them kiss. And we say, "Oh, look, Anita and Alvin, look, the kids back there." They were rehearsing for the play. At that time, we're children. So we don't know, we're not thinking of anything else. And they go into the play.
Right.
And I always say, when I grow up, I wanted to be on stage and do like them, you know.
Because you go to that
And
school. I like this. And I just want to come in here quickly. I must mention that, especially Merchant of Venice, because
yes,
Ian Jackson, who is a teacher at the St. Mary's Academy, he adapted this William Shakespeare production, and he did a wonderful, very short series with students on the SMA. So just imagine an all-boys school, and in that play there are girls as well, so they have to take on the roles of girls, at times. So I
yes,
just
oh,
wanted to bring
nice,
this in because this continues to happen at schools, and we really have to
nice.
applaud the efforts of teachers who see these things, as
Yes.
necessary for children's development. So I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, it is very necessary to bring in the arts and the culture and the plays, because everyone is not academically or academically bright, so to speak, according to Dominica, not the world, Dominica. Because I don't know what's happening now, but I'm speaking of the time. If you did not have certain GCEs, if you did not have a certain color, or whatever the story is, you did not fit in. And I think I did not fit in at all in many things at home. Because I didn't have all the GCUs, I didn't know I have all, but I had other skills that were not looked at or just brushed aside: the music, the dance, because right now everything is like blossoming in arts, dance, and culture, in everything. Well, of course, in New York. And I tried to bring it to Dominica, tried to ask if I could go on, and it's not happening, at least not yet. But when it came to the good times in convent high school for me, it was with my friends, the school children, and it was in sports, arts, dance, culture. I wasn't an artist drawing, but I was an artist in
Mm.
many other ways, and in writing, because of course, I used to write and make my compositions, and they would be pretty good, which sometimes we read, But as far as anything else, no, it didn't happen. It
So,
didn't. It
so,
didn't.
so
It didn't happen.
okay, okay. And like I said, we have so much to try to capture you, Rosalind,
Yeah.
in terms of, your journey to New York and you starting some processes out there and stuff like that. So from convent, you went into the world of work in Dominica, or you
Yes.
migrated right away? No?
No.
Okay.
I worked with the post office, General Post Office, for about 4 years. But before I go to that, in the convent, we started the band, the Missing Dimensions band.
The what
The band
band?
that
The what
the
band?
missing
What's the
the,
band?
miss- the Missing Dimensions band. That's the
Missing
band,
Dimensions
or
band.
Missing Dimensions band of the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a huge success. We started in 1970, and when we went all through 1977, we were 5 teenage girls, young teenagers, 13 to 15. It was Jennifer Fadell Johnson. She lives in Texas. I think she's in Dominica right now. Right? At that time, we were like 15, 16. Anola Williams Schillenfeld, Ella Butler, Jean Monroe, who has passed on, and myself. We were the 5 core of the Missing Dimensions band. As time went on, we gathered more girls. Cecilia Piper, that's Piper's sister, Popo. She sang with us. We had Anne Williams. I think she's in Martinique or one of the places. We had Rose Keynes. We had Rose Keynes too when we first started. Rose Keynes Larocque, because she was the head girl at the time. And we could not use the convent high school instruments if the head girl was not present with us in the band. So we asked her and she agreed to sing with us. So when we played at the parish hall and we played at convent, she played with us. She sang with the band at the time. We played pop songs, of the day.
So you were the original all-female band?
We were the original, or the only one in Dominica and the region, the Caribbean region, maybe in the world at the time, because we never heard of any all-girl band. And I'm not talking about an all-girl band that's singing. We played the instruments. I played the rhythm guitar and the piano, or the organ, we call it, the keyboard, they call it now. Anola Williams played the bass, and she was the lead singer. Ella Butler was the first we know of master drummer. Ella was a master drummer. Ella Butler, yes. Okay. Then you had Jennifer Fadell Johnson, who played lead guitar. And you had Jean Monroe on percussion. She played the bongos and stuff like
Interesting. So you all came from the same community at that time?
This is interesting.
We were in good. We became from the convent high school. And I'll tell you how it actually started. There's not a history here. Dr. Watty's choir, Dr. Watty, we all know Dr. Watty. I think it's called the Goodwill Singers at the time. He asked for me to play the guitar because they knew I played guitar at their show. So I would come to the rehearsals and practice for the show. I believe I did one show with them. I was the only guitarist sitting on the stage. The next show they wanted, Jennifer Fadell had come in from Geneva, Switzerland. And we were in Forford. That's in 1971, 70. And I told him, I remember as a child asking him to call Jennifer. So he said, does she have a guitar? I said, yeah, Jennifer just came to ask Jennifer. And I told her, I said, Doctor, what are you going to ask you? So of course, he must have asked her mother or whatever. And Jennifer and I started a duo. And that's how the Missing Dimensions band started, with the duo of Jennifer Fadell and I playing for Dr. Watty's choir concerts. And Jennifer and Dr. Watty couldn't get along because he was after her. Oh, you have to get the thing. You have to get the. And every time she played the thing, she bust the string. It was, it was fun. It was just with nature of game at the time.
But who archived these things, on Nigel? I mean, it's really important.
I'm listening to Rosalind.
The Missing Dimensions.
There's so much
and you originated from Goodwill, right? And you're all ladies, 5 ladies started this.
5 girls. We were like 13, I think, at the time. Ella was 13.
Wow.
I was 15, 16. So we were around that age. It was huge. And I wrote about the journey of the band in Oceans of Thoughts book 2. The whole journey. We had done very well, as a matter of fact. We were getting interviews. We had Radio Jumbo from Martinique wanting to interview us later on as we were going along. We had many gigs. We played, we did a lot.
So you played music and you sang at the same time?
We played and we sang. We played. It was
Give us one of the songs, Rosalind. Can you remember one of the songs, at least a verse or chorus of one of them? One of the popular numbers that you had back in the day? I mean, if you remember that so clearly.
He's a lady. Oh, 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 he's a lady. And the lady is mine. But we sang it. She's a man. Oh, 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 he's a man. Oh, 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 he's a man. And the man is mine.
Wow, I love this.
We'll sing Kung Fu Fighting. Does lightning.
And you girls would move right your waistline and dance to the music.
I shot the sheriff and I didn't shoot the deputy.
Wow. Oh. Someone is calling. Let's see if this person wants to show it first, because this person has been on the overseas line for a while. So let's just see. Good morning, connecting the dots.
Good morning, Rosalind.
Yes, good morning. Yes, let's be quick.
Nigel. Yes, I know.
I'm good. I'm good.
What's the name of your guest?
Rosalind
I,
Severin, McClean.
oh, Rosalind Severin. Okay. I just heard you spoke about this all women band. I can remember. I used to be living in Goodwill at the time. Rosalind Severin. Most of the girls I think were from Goodwill. Most of them. Because Rose Kings, Ella Butler was my next door neighbor. I used to live in Monroe Street. And,
So you remember?
Rose Kings was just below me,
Okay.
and I remember that band. I remember that band very, very well. And, they were content girls. And, I think
Okay.
at one point in time they used to play in the band house or
Okay,
practice
yeah,
in
she
the
was
band
saying, yeah,
house
she was saying
of,
that. She was saying that. But it's nice that you remember
yes.
and you can, make
Yes,
that
I
connection.
remember.
All right, thank
I
you.
remember that very, very well.
Okay,
Okay, then.
thank
Thank
you,
you.
thank
All
you.
right.
Yes, Rosalind, you were singing for us, and show us
Kung
emotion
Fu
in terms.
fighting.
Show us
I'm
how
just
you were dancing before, and what was the dressing like though? Well, what
what
mini
did we wear?
skirts
Yeah. What
and
we
high
wore, bell
heels?
bottoms, bell bottoms, elephant pants. In those days, I used to make my own little cutaway top, to go with the bell bottoms. And we all would say, okay, we're wearing this color blue today, or for that gig or whatever. Block heels. So these are the block heels. You had big platform block heels. So, and then we'd have something in our hair, depending on who had the long hair, whatever. I used Afro puffs, and I remember 1974, I think it was, when we played at the Awak Cinema for the Queen show. We all came out looking like hippies, hippie outfits. We put embroidered on our shirts.
Wow.
I mean, we were well dressed, but we had the hippie outfits. I think that was the time of the hippie days. So we came out
Mhm.
looking, flashing in our hippie looking like outfits. We played at the Awak Cinema. I think we opened the Princess Show. We played at Cicero Hotel. We played at the Harlem. Harlem, the Harlem had a big on the Newton Savannah had Harlem, some big festival. We played there for 2 nights. I mean, we were on the gig, and we got paid. I think we got paid $46 or whatever.
Wow.
But back in the days, that was a big deal for us. Hey, we getting paid. That's also in book two. We played at the Ham. It's called on Ito Street near the police station. There was a place called the Ham. We
Okay.
played there at one time.
So
We
I'm on
played
my brain.
also down at Sunset Terrace. A Cocaine, I think it was called, but the Sunset Terrace they used to have on a brunch, and we played there. We played, with other bands, of course. We played there with one of the gigs on there. Then at Grotto. We had Grotto. Grotto was up there near the cemetery there where they have, I think, the old homes for the older
Mhm.
people. At that time, that was the Grotto. And we
Yeah.
played with Swinging
Used
Stars.
to be lawn
You
tennis
know.
there. Also.
Yes, yes. I call it the Dominica Club. We played there several times. And I remember that's where we got stuck on Kung Fu fighting.
And kung
Yeah,
fu
they call us
fighting.
when you're so nervous, it was that day. That was a big thing because my father didn't want me to go and play at the grotto. Because back then, the grotto was not a place for young teenagers or young girls or any convent girls or whatever. So back then, we were not allowed to go to grotto. But I knew I am leading the band. I have to be there. Nola, Jennifer, no, not Jennifer, no, Jennifer was studying and the thing, but Nola, Ella, Jean, we come up in Nola Volkswagen and they came to pick me up. And I know we tried to make a plan. No, I'm dressing. My father tell me I can't go. He's giving me that thing about no, oh no, no way. My mother and them say no way, but I know I have to be there because I'm leading the band. Without me, band cannot play, and I have to play. And running, and I know I have the key. I know I want to go. Anyway, a big scruffle. I lock myself in the bathroom and stop trying to get ready and stuff like that. And when I hear in pip pip the horn, God, I have to escape. I don't know how I escaped, and I have to escape. And I took off, took off from the veranda. We have all these verandas and all these doors. And I ran out in the thing. I say, well, we'll deal with it when we come back. And we went, they picked me up. There's Nolda driving, Jean Monroe, Ella in the car, and four of us went down. We went down to the grotto. And we played there. We played, I shot the sheriff. We played Hey Lady is a Man. Lady is a Man, that's one of those favorite songs. Baby, baby, light your fire. You are the good things that I know. Higher, baby, take me higher. That was the songs in those days, the Jonas Brothers and all this. That was the pop songs in those days. Venus, Here's another thing. Money, 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 money. So these are the songs we played in those days, and all of us on the mic. Nola's the lead singer.
But where
Clicking
was
because
I
we
in
get
a boy? I should have been in that group with you.
And I'm
Well, I
enjoying
would have
this.
liked this. I would just
Missing
struck my
dimensions
stuff,
that
man.
yeah, and we got stuck on Kung Fu
Yes.
fighting. Kung Fu fighting, we started. Pam, 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 because I'm on the organ. No, I'm playing the piano, the organ, or we call it the keyboard, and I have the rhythm guitar on my back because I'm playing both. You know, that's why I was alternating because we had, so I'm going, and I got a lot of my chords when I took piano lessons in Mrs. School's Latic. So she knew I was in the band. So she used to give me chords. You know, she'd tell me, come anytime, and I'd go by her and I'd ask her for certain chords, and she would show me, because Mrs. School's Latic, that's Orleans' grandmother or auntie, Orleans' aunt, was a master. She taught us piano. So I had all these, she taught Jennifer as well. So we had all this stuff. And so we go on and we started Kung Fu fighting. Everything sounded nice. Next thing you know, Nola forget the words. Nola starts kicking. She's kicking at me to get the words, and I'm trying to give her words. And then Ella got upset. She started banging the drums, and she just threw the sticks up. She took off. But what happened is that Hembo and Master Cruikshank at the time, they came on the stage with us. And they sort of had grounded us a bit, and we were able to go through the song and we finished. Because they were really supportive of us, Swinging Stars, like all the musicians, Naked Feet guys, because I had Pat Aaron and his brother Randy, they allowed us to practice in the banner shed on their instruments. We had Every Mother's Child, they were able to practice on their instruments in the cave. There was a place called the Cave. I don't know what it's called now. I don't know if it's there. It's near the Bayfront. Swinging Stars really helped us out. Liquid Ice gave us a problem, but we conquered Liquid Ice and we were able to practice on those instruments because Liquid Ice instruments were managed by Mr. Fadell. And there
Nigel,
was
that's history, eh? That's
Listen,
history.
man, I'm just sitting back and
Naked
listening
Feet,
to this
Liquid Ice, wow.
Yes.
Go on, Rosalind.
So there was no way that Jennifer and Mikey, two sisters, and Mikey is in Liquid Ice, Jennifer is in Missing Dimensions. When we want to practice, it's always a problem. And Mr. Fadell said, if we cannot practice, they cannot use the instruments. And that's how it is back and forth. But everybody together. When Missing Dimensions going to practice, the whole of group will come in around Rose Street because they're coming to hear us. It was like a thing. Missing Dimensions, and they know we're going to practice. So all of them, they all Trevor, Bertrand, everybody, even Rosa people would coming up because they come in because they know we're practicing. Well, of course, Liquid Ice was practicing there too, so they attracted people as well. So we did have that excitement in the 70s with the band. The band was a big hit. I mean, this is why I wrote about the band, so that the history will never die. The history will always continue. And one of the things that I mentioned in several interviews, all in when I did interviews with mapping and those places, this history of what we did back in the day should be present in the schools. So the school children not only have history of Jamaica or wherever the history, they have history, concrete history of what happened in Dominica, which also will give the students, especially for music and culture, because the kind of music and some hearing now is a whole different story. But it will help not only that they must do academics, because a lot of times the children are not bright enough to speak according to their standard, and they're not able to meet their standard. They're left back. I was left back, so I know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about from my experience. And it took me a while to speak about it that way, because you always put down, and you're just saying this and that kind of thing. So I'm now, as I'm older and been through a lot of the experience in dance and culture, and I'm able to teach here because I teach a lot of the dance and culture. I have many groups, and many people who pass through me have their groups, and of course not recognized in Dominica, but it's okay because I have the concrete evidence. And I always say it's important that this history is is recognized
Yeah.
in the
I
schools.
love this. I like this. I like this.
Yeah, I
And
always
I'll
say
say,
that.
I would say as well, shame on me, and Nigel, because I have the books. I should have read them. So I would just like browse through, but not really.
Because
It's just the time, and
the
so I have to
time,
take
yeah, of
time to
course.
sit and read
Well, I will say
through
double shame
this.
on me. I mean, I don't
I
have the
have the
second book,
books.
so I'm going after this. I'm going to make sure.
I have my
But let's say
signed
it right now.
copies.
How can someone get the books? I'm Rosalind.
The
Even
books
before
are
we
on
get to the books,
Amazon. Yeah, the books
Amazon.
are on Amazon, and they're also on Barnes and Noble. Here we have gotten
Okay.
Barnes and Noble. Yeah.
Alias, please order the books for me now.
I like that.
Ocean
Oceans
of
of
Thoughts, right?
thoughts.
Oceans
Yes.
of Thoughts. Oceans of Thoughts
Oceans
is
of
the yeah.
Thoughts.
Yeah.
Alias, go ahead and order the books
Yeah.
because
You
yes,
see,
and so I can have
I
the
mean,
kids.
sometimes
I
we
can have
talk.
the kids read them as well.
I know
Yes,
we have
of
a problem
course.
with archiving, but we have a lot of Dominican writers, and if you take your time to read their books, you will get some of the history, because they have
Yes,
recorded
we
a lot.
will. We will. And I
Because
mean,
Calypso Drift by Dr. Steinberg Henry is just
that's
a
a wonderful book.
wonderful
Yes.
piece,
And then there's so
it
much
touch.
in there as well.
Yeah.
So man, Rosalind, we have so much to capture. So Missing Dimensions, the all-female band, first all-female band, you guys were hit with Liquid Eyes and Swinging Stars and Exile and all the rest of it. Did you play any Caras though? The Missing
No,
Dimensions, no? You were
no,
just
we
into
are not a Cadas band because we're not a Cadas band. We were just a pop band. We were good. Remember, we were children, We were still children. And
but by the way, sorry, but what happened because you stow away and you
Oh,
went to
yes,
play
oh,
the
yes,
band? What
yes.
happened when you come?
Well, Nigel, you are the smart one, eh? Yes,
What
give us the
happened when you
best.
come back? You get the
Nothing.
phone. What happened?
No. I tell you what happened. I went to my band, to my grotto, and of course you feel safe because you are people you know. And back then in those days, you're safe anyway. You go in a place, you're safe. All swinging stars guys know you. Everybody know who swinging stars guys are. A swinging stars, you go into place, so of course they're looking out for you too. And everybody, no matter who they are, they look out for you. In those days, everything was safe. We didn't have any, we didn't have any of this thing. So yeah, anyway, we didn't have no money either. Remember, we children, we don't have no money to buy nothing. So they gave us a piece of chicken, a piece of bread. We could go and get a juicy, because we can't drink, we're not drinking strong drink of the children. We go, I don't know who was drinking strong, but I was drinking juicy and piece of bread and chicken in those days. So anyway, after the gig, we all pack up, we going home. All up the road, the place darkness. Now I had a dog named Sheba. And that Sheba was my guardian, my guard dog. Well, Sheba is a dog. And I came in, and I look around, I see the place locked. I'm not trying no doors because I know the place locked up. Windows locked. No, we had a French window kind of thing, so you could jump the window and go inside if you had to go inside. Because we were small, like a French window open and you could jump it. Everything locked. Okay, I ain't say nothing. I came in, I sat on the veranda, the rocking chair. I'm looking, you could see, looking, and I'm seeing the key was turned, so the door locked. I'm not trying nothing. I don't want to disturb nobody. I came in, I sat on the veranda, and that's where I sat the whole rest of the night, me and my dog. And I hear Yvonne, my sister Yvonne had passed. I hear her saying, I wasn't outside, because I guess she must have been up. I hear her saying that. But nobody man go by the door. Nobody man go by the door to try and open no door. I'm worried. I sit down there, I rock my chair, I sit down, and my daddy is always an early riser, like 4:30, sometimes 6 o'clock. He's up because he's a gardener, that daddy was in his garden. I see him come. I hear Yvonne saying, Yvonne, I heard. Oh, wasn't outside there. He wasn't on the veranda. She mumbling. I see daddy get up. I hear him get up. He walk in. By that time, he could come because it's sunset coming up. He opened the door. I say, morning, daddy. Never answer. He goes inside. Up to today. He didn't say a word.
Wow.
Up to today. He didn't tell me one word.
That kung fu fighting stuff.
Yeah, I went and played in the grotto. But I knew, I guess they must have figured out who I was with because I was with the band and Swinging Stars and so on. He know all Swinging Stars guys and so whatever it is, I had to play in my gig. And that was the only thing that I was actually excelling in, or I had excelled because I was doing school days, was the band. I had no pressure to go study and to write the test. And when I think I have it right, I don't have it right. And no. And remember, we had no cell phones, we had no music sheets, we had no words of songs. We had to sit down by the
Oh
radio
yes, I know.
and listen to the songs and try to get the music. And I used to go on the piano and write the chords. Me and Jennifer, we trying to write the chords from the piano and pick up the words that they're singing. So when we get together, all of us, we put in our words together, the song, see which one song is more correct. That's how we did it.
Wow.
No one gave us no music sheet or no chords, nothing. The chords were all from me and maybe Jennifer wrote some chords. And this is how we made our music,
Wow.
and the band excelled. So
How long did that band go on for?
we went on for about 7 years.
Wow,
We
that's
started, as I said, we started with the duo, some continents as part of the band, because
And then
that's
you
how we
went up to
started.
5.
Right. And then we saw the instruments in convent and we decided we're going to ask sister to play. And that's how we started the band, the actual convent high school band. It was a convent high school
yeah.
band first. That's when we had Roskins as head group. And when sister decided she's not making us play on her instruments again, because she told us we only had to play holy songs like Oh Happy Day and those holy songs. And when she heard us playing Venus, we started playing Venus. And I showed the set to practice. We practiced trying to get a steel to practice. We went and we got on the instruments to practice. She passed and she heard us in the hall, school hall, playing Venus. And that was it. The lady, well, sister Spider.
Which Venus? I'm your Venus, I'm your fire, your desire. That's
Yes.
Oh my
Yeah, we were playing that song because we were practicing in the school hall. And sister decided she don't want us to practice any of those songs. Or we could play our band, but we cannot practice on her instrument. That was it. She took the band from us. I mean, she took it and we couldn't practice again. And then they put the instruments behind the library. The library at the time was upstairs because you have the school office, and when you go straight down the corridor, there was a library there, and there's a door you can go in the back. And in the back, they had put the instruments, and we saw it, and we said, oh, the instruments back, let's just go and see if we can practice. And by the time we tried to figure a little thing out, bam, the nuns was passing, so that was the end of that. But Mrs. Fadell said, we cannot, because Mrs. Fadell and the Fadels, and so we decided, yes, that's not going to stop us, and we're going to continue our music. And that is how we say, well, we have what a name, we cast it from a high school band because we have what a name, and we figure out a name between us girls, we come up with Missing Dimension. We had all kind of names until we say Missing. Jennifer said, take out the G, put apostrophe and say Missing. And that is how the Missing Dimensions, the name came about.
I like this. Nigel, look story on the live there.
Man, that's a beautiful
Other
journey.
people remembering,
I'm loving this journey.
Oh boy. Wow.
So Rosalind, I mean, man. All right, so Missing Dimensions, you guys were playing music, all female band and everything. You were working in the post office.
Yes.
And then you found yourself having to leave and migrate.
Yes, because, as young...
By the way, before you go into that, let's just say, recognize Lily Serafin, she's on the live. And she's saying she remembered these days. Anne-Marie Laron Richards as well. She's saying amazing, the history we never knew. Thanks for sharing, Rosalind. So I just like that aspect of it. And that's one of the highlights of Connecting the Dots, Nigel, especially when you can go back. And even when we have young people as well, we always go back because you always learn, from what was. And that's good.
Thank you.
Okay, so yes, Nigel, just ask you a question.
Yeah, so yes, I wanted to model. Because we're doing some modeling. I used to model for Valentine. That is Annette Popon.
Annette have anything else in the
yeah.
So good.
Yeah, so I used to model for Peppies and different things. We used to have fashion shows and so. And then I had an aunt in the States and made arrangement, get visa and all kind of things. Back in the days it was so hard. And I went up to the States because I wanted to do modeling. And I got there and that was a fiasco by itself. This whole that was an experience just coming there and I stayed by her for a little while and then she said to me, oh, you see snow now, so you can leave, and wanted me to go back to Dominica while I'm in school. And then I had to leave her place and go somewhere else, and it's a whole story. But then with the modeling, I joined Ophelia DeVore modeling school, and that's where I got my training. Now, I don't know what they do now, but I know for me back in 1978, we were trained we got a whole curriculum. which is what I took with me back to Dominica in 1990, 91, and opened a modeling school in Dominica with my training and the curriculum that we used in Ophelia DeVore. That was a very great experience. I remember when we did the midterm, and we had a recital for the midterm, and one of the things I did was play the piano. And they were quite surprised that, of course, I could play the piano and doing right but piano lessons. I said, well, we've been playing piano since I was about 7 or 8. And I played Frederic Chopin, one of his pieces, Prelude. That was one of my favorites. And I played the song Because You Came to Me with Heartfelt Love. And so I played those 2 songs. And then for the actual recital, that was after the year of the school, there was a big recital at the Manhattan, the Marriott Hotel, one of the hotels in Manhattan. And there I did, I think I did dance. I modeled a swimwear made from Madras. My mother, my mother at the time made the Madras bikini and sent it to me with skirts. I still have it, but I still have it, yeah. And I modeled that. So I was there, like say, flashing Dominica, selling Dominica since I came up.
Wow. Yeah. By the way, let me just say quickly, Glenda Shillingford is also saying she speaks so passionately about it that it feels real presently.
Yes.
Wow. And Sandra Norris is saying, girl, Rosalind, you're not easy, nah? Wow, Rosalind, I love this.
Sandra was part of the Goodwill Girls and the Goodwill that used to come and sit and listen to us playing, practicing in Rose Street. Oh, yeah, she was one of us. Yeah. But, yeah, so yes, I started, well, of course, the modeling was a big thing for me in New York. I mean, this young girl from Dominica, and they were kind of sheltering me at the Ophelia DeVore because she says, I remember she saying they never had someone from the island, of a Dominica for sure, at their school. It was like the first time. And hearing my background, they realized that, you come from a sheltered upbringing. So it was like more the certain things she would tell me. If you get a card, make sure you take it to them first before I respond to any cards. I got many cards, because she always said your first impression when you're on that stage is a lasting impression. So they train you in such a way that when you come out and you stand, your first impression, you want to wow the audience. And I think those are some of the things that I try to say for our people at home, but I never get heard. But you have to wow the audience on your first impression. That's for dance, that's for art, that's for culture, that's for this, anything for stage. And I got a lot of gigs, I guess you want to call it. I modeled at the Hilton Hotel. I did the Lowe's Hotel. I did the Marriott Hotel. I did Macy's showroom. I did Lord and Taylor showroom. I did fashion. I had 3 designers. I had Roy Masado from Jamaica. I had Michael Straker from Barbados. I had a guy called Tony, an American, and I would do their showrooms. I'm talking about clothes. I would do their showrooms. I had a lot of work, but you're not getting paid. You doing the work, of course. But for me, you get an outfit, you get something, they give you an outfit, they give you dinner. You're not getting no cash. So you're there pushing this work, and the money not coming in. And that time too, you're not thinking of money. You just want to be on the stage. And I just wanted to be on the stage. I just want to have that experience because I came from an experience in Dominica. I was thrown off the stage. So here I am in New York, and people are embracing me. Even Americans at that time, the lady was American, Black American school, and the teachers and even the girls and the guys, whoever was, they embrace my talent. They see something in me that I guess they figured they don't have. I don't know. And they were embracing my ability, and they were embracing my presence on that stage. It's like anything I did as I struck gold. I posed a certain way. It was like, do it again, and just click, pictures. And I would be booked for just about anything that they had. They would book me. And I would be walking in the streets. I remember 1 big bag of makeup, 1 big bag of shoes, because you get in the clothes to model. And of course, taking the train and stuff like that. And when I get after the gig, I remember doing the Pegasus. That's another big it was a club. I remember doing the Pegasus. I had the 61st Street in Manhattan. I remember when I left Pegasus, you're walking in the girls and guys. They taking the train too, but they get no different stops. And I go into Queens. When I get off of my stop, I afraid to walk. I say, Lord, I'm not walking there. I flag down the cops. There's some cops patrolling. I flag them down here. Everybody saying, oh, you don't go in cops car. I say, but I went in cop car. Because I tell them, no, they want to see ID. They want to know where I come from. Of course, they want to know who I am. But
Who's that girl?
Yes, one of them, they knew me from in the area. I lived in the area, so they recognized me. And I said, yeah, that's me. And they gave me a ride to my apartment where I was living, and they even took me inside the building. And people were like saying, "Oh, you in a cop car?" I said, "Yes," because I needed protection. I mean, I didn't want to walk from the train to that about 4 o'clock in the morning. There's me alone.
And Udeja, you always have a response. But
yeah,
I mean, Nigel, I'm looking at the time. We have to talk about her book as well.
Yes.
But tell us quickly though, because you always love your WAP duet as well, and you
yes.
continue to
I
portray
saw
this
Dominica.
a lot.
I represented Dominica fully from 1978 actually, when I went to the first Dada, and everybody was like, "Oh, you're gonna dance first, or whatever." And anyway, I've been representing Dominica from 1979 all the way up, doing different performances.
Still,
ballet.
right? Still this
Still,
year.
yes. I right now, last few times I performed was worship dancing, but in our ballet, in our costume, and of course, anything I do, I have to put in the ballet there. And so every time I did a little something, I put in the ballet. When I dance at the Jamaica Arts Center, I dance West African at the Jamaica Arts Center, and I was always called, twice, I would say twice, at the recitals, I was asked to do a solo. Now we're doing African dance. The teacher is teaching African dance, and we are following the teachers. Everybody goes in a circle to perform. When my turn to come, I start off good in what she taught us, and I break into her belly. And she say, you dance with the spirit of the drums.
Yes,
I said, well, what you mean? Because I thought it was something bad, because that is what cast me out of all this thing. I did my own thing as far as they were concerned. She said, no. She said, you don't dance like us. As a teacher, she said, you dance with the spirit of the drums. It's on a different level. She made me understand that what I was doing was not of us. It was from the higher source.
Ancient spirit.
And I would tell her, how you feel when you dance? I said, I don't feel myself. I feel like I'm floating. She said, that's what you do. You start well, and then you break into something else that she didn't teach us. So this is what I know from what being told to me and what I've experienced, and I've tried to be conscious of it. But it's like, no, you teach me something, and I know the routine. But when I go on a solo, it's a whole different experience. Those who attend Dana, see me dance for Dada, can tell you. It's a whole different. They'll say, girl, what you just did there. I say, I don't know. I just know I dance.
And you still have all that spring, Rosalind. That's good.
Well, yes,
That's good.
of course. Because once it's in you, it's in you. It's once it's a God-given passion. It's a God-given. It's like a change angel. It's like you're a change angel. You come of a purpose. The purpose to bring change in whatever you touch. You bring change to the arts, to the dance, to the culture. Well, that's what I circle myself around. And you have a change in you that's not understood. And then when you don't understand it, they label you as disruptive. They label you as not following instructions. They give you all kind of these labels because they're not able to understand. They're not aligned. You have to be aligned with these sort of frequencies, with this inspiration to understand when a change angel is around. I was told that I happen to have met a group, because I'm on the Alignable with over almost 80,000 views. And I have been, somebody seeked me out and was telling me about this thing. I said, my dance teacher also mentioned these things to me, but not knowing, because we come from Dominica, although I've been here for many years, we still have this upbringing in us. And I said, if I mention that to my Dominicans, they will say, oh, they will cast me out because I'm not really recognized anyway. I just know who I am. But she said, no, you come to bring change in your work. That's why you excel in whatever you do in arts, dance, and culture. You don't have the degrees and all these academic awards that is given to the multitude, but you have something that's from the source. And this is what you work with. This is what channels through you. And this is why whatever you touch, it excels and is not understood. Why is she able to do this? How come they pick her? Why is her work so successful? Why is Oceans of Thought so good? I'm not reading it. I never read your book. But yet, it's being read across the globe and is being recognized across the globe for the content. It's a very inspirational, spiritual word. It has a lot of value. The value of has a lot of weight. It's heavy, and it's not heavy because I did it. No, it was channeled through me to go to you, to speak to you, and bring out those emotions that is undercurrent within the human. Because when I speak on current affairs, and I speak on social issues, and I speak on the disruption in families, and I bring all this and grief and bullying and all these different aspects that is affecting the humans, affecting us in life currently as well as before. It's always swept. This sort of topics and facts are always swept because they want to continue life as accustomed to. So the moment you bring up something, right away they cast you out. They cast out this thing. So here goes Rosalind Severin McClean, bringing on Oceans of Thoughts. And the name Oceans of Thoughts came between my daughter and I. And I told her it has to be part of the vision because the vision tells me what to write. The vision gives me the title of whatever poetry. The vision tells me what to write. It will show me what it wants me to write. So everything you see in there, it comes from my life experiences. Yet the way it's transported and the way it moves, that's not of me. It's of a higher source. And this is where the change angel aspect of Oceans of Thoughts comes to play. This is the understanding and misunderstanding of us people on a whole. I had the Rosa Modeling School in Dominica, Rosa Model and Finesse Workshop in Dominica, where I schooled many Dominican young ladies and even men. I had Simon Senhouse, Dr. Matthew, who I sent her her bio from the school for Ivona. She should have it. Where when she came to me, she was in sixth form college, and she was 18, very shy, and don't want to speak. She had her cousin or a friend, Kendra Fredericks, wanting to speak for her, and I said, no, if you are the one going to take the class, I must interview you. I interviewed Kendra for her, but you, and she was afraid to speak. She did not like her voice. She said her voice was deep. And the children, when she grew up, they used to tease her about her voice, and she had no self-esteem. And though she was a very brilliant girl, but she's still brilliant, she's a doctor now. But at the time, I could tell, she was brilliant, but and I said to her, the only way is that you have to you take the class and we'll work with it. And she wrote a very good recommendation and review for the Rosa Modeling School, because I gave the students I had at the time, the whole course, Magic of the Mind. I stressed on public speaking. I stressed on projection. I stressed not only makeup and how to walk. Yes, makeup and how to walk, and how do you apply it. I had Ginny Frampton Shillingford, was the makeup artist for the Rosa Modeling School. And she's the one who came and gave the instructions for the makeup. But I actually schooled them, in that aspect. It wasn't accounting, it wasn't architect, and it wasn't whatever you want to call it for the PhD. But I gave them the PhD of life that is not really recognized in Dominica. It's recognized at the places. I don't know for now, I'm talking about at the time, but it was not recognized. It's totally skipped So my work and my efforts, well, I would say my work because my effort is well recognized in the States. It's not, some people, I would say some, have embraced my work and my talent and the given purpose that I'm here for. And some have just cast me aside. You know, I don't get support from many who I'm supposed to get support from, but it's okay because the support will come either way. And Oceans of Thoughts has
Do
taken
you have
off.
a do you have a copy of Ocean of Thoughts that you can show us quickly, like a book cover or something, or so that
No,
those who go onto Amazon can? Yes, okay. So this is Ocean of Thoughts. Please go get the book. It's on
yeah,
Amazon.
this is book one.
Okay.
This is book two. That's where the band is. And this is book three, where we talk about sports. I heard you trying to get the names of the teams. Well, that's all in
Right.
Ocean Sports book three. And I have to credit people like Trevor Bertrand, Gucci, and Bull Lawrence, that's Admiral Lawrence. In Dominica, no, I'm sure they're listening. Well, I don't know because they've been. I call them.
Yeah,
the
they're always
track
on Facebook
stars.
showing what they're
So what they're
enjoying,
doing,
their
yeah.
enjoyments.
Yeah, so
Yes.
these guys and many other guys,
Wow, what
and
a
you're talking
story.
about Clem John, you're talking about what do you call it? Anyway, Ronald Osborne, that he passed
Okay.
away just now. But these guys, Ronald Osborne and I mentioned Dewhurst in there, and so that gave me permission to put her husband in the book, getting permission from them, and they have contributed pictures and information, and they were like, oh, I remember that. I said, I remember that I was there. You know, for as I remember sports, and that's in book three. I wrote a whole history of sports, mentioning
Okay.
all those teams
Wow.
and all the because I was in netball and I
Right.
mentioned
All
Invincible
wrong there.
Girls
No.
from netball, and
Yes.
talking about the
Yes.
netball of Jean Dixon and all these young
Okay.
girls at the time was
Okay.
mashing up netball and stuff like that. So
So that's book
yeah,
three.
that's
Okay.
book three.
But Nigel, yeah, the time has come and the time has come.
Ah, yes, yes. The
And
time
it's
has been there.
a really wonderful story. I just love it, and I really love the fact that you're a writer, because I really believe that there's an intricacy, that one can create in the mind of another by the picture they create, when they write. And I just page through the books, and I'll get a chance to sit and read it, and especially now, because I didn't realize that you had so much in this, so
Yes.
I really enjoyed the discussion, Nigel. Seriously, I mean,
Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes.
Rosalind has this
It
joie de
was-
vivre. She's just
She does, she
it's
does. She
just,
makes
yeah,
you feel so light and happy
yes,
and
yeah,
energetic and
man.
everything else. Positive vibes, positivity. And I look forward to the day, Rosalind, when your books and other Dominican writers' books can be in our schools.
Yes.
And that the Ministry of Education will begin to see the value of our own Dominican writers and the Dominican literature that we have out there. And that they
Yes.
will include it in the curriculum at some point,
So
So
we
have
can
to
get
be
it on
progressive
Amazon
enough.
and Barnes and Noble, you said?
Barnes and Nobles, yes. And for the schools want to purchase, it's on Ingram's Park. That's where the libraries of the world and bookstores and institutions can purchase in bulk on Ingram's Park. I have also made, I went to the UWI, and the librarian at UWI accepted Oceans of Thoughts. And to me, that's a big plus that they whatever project or what she's been doing with Oceans of Thoughts, at least the books are the UWI in Dominica, Oceans of Thoughts, book 1, book 2, and book 3. I have pictures on my website and so with
Okay.
her, it's Miss Clarissa and Stedman. And I really appreciate the fact that she saw the value of the history and the literature, because there are literature in the book and social studies in Oceans of Thoughts. And I know of social studies and history as I've had a few PhD priests read my books to evaluate the books and tell me what they think. And that's why I speak so certain, and I speak with such confidence on my work in Oceans of Thought, because I've had some real good people evaluate what's in there.
Okay. Well, that's where we come to the end. Rosalind, surely was a pleasure, spending time with you. And I'm happy we did this. As I said, we had you once, but you were not live. And you just came in when we could not get our guests to go. And wow, all the best to you. Success in your endeavors. And we'll continue to link.
Yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate this chance an opportunity to express myself with my history, and hope this will educate and enlighten other Dominicans as well.
Okay.
And realize that we can do a lot for promoting Dominica.
Sure. Nigel, we'll do it again next week, God willing.
Yes,
We
we
have to
connect
run
again
this out of
next
the
week,
program.
Yes.
Yes, and all the best to you, Nigel, as well. Okay,
You
Nigel,
take
what
care,
do we
have a
have
good
next week? I think we...
Next week we're gonna have Miss Mema Raphael.
Okay, yes.
Mema is gonna be on it.
And then the week
Dominica
after...
Dewey.
The week after we'll have Louis Charles.
The week after we'll have
Yes,
Louis
okay.
Charles.
Yes, all right. All the best to you, Nigel. Rosalind, take care.
You take care, my
Thank
dear.
you so much. I
All right.
appreciate this.